Is beef tallow or rendered cow fat a really good ingredient for your skin? We're going to talk about that in today's video. We're going to talk about what the science actually says, what there is of it, and what benefits, if any, you can get from using beef tallow on your skin. Because I know there are a lot of videos out there, and now we have a lot of products that are new on the market containing this ingredient and being touted as a miracle worker for skin. So if you've been wondering if beef tallow is something that you should be thinking about in your skincare routine, we're going to cover all that in today's video. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new and not familiar with who I am, I'm Chris Gibson, a skincare expert. Been doing this stuff for 38 years, helping folks find skincare that's going to work for them, not empty their wallet, not empty your wallet, and not do you more harm than good. So if that's the kind of content you've been looking for here on YouTube from someone who's been doing this stuff for a really long time, you're in the right spot, and I hope you'll stick around and subscribe. Well, let's talk about beef tallow as a skincare ingredient. As I said in the introduction, it is rendered cow fat. And the first question that comes up in my mind, and many of yours probably, is this a cruelty-free product? Well, the answer to that is yes and no, depending on where you fall in the spectrum of what you think cruelty-free means. And what I mean by that is cows are not being collected for the purpose of creating this ingredient or extracting this ingredient from them. It is a byproduct of what already happens in the beef industry. So as I said, depending on where you fall in the cruelty-free zone, it is made from animals. It is a byproduct, so it is not totally cruelty-free in that way, but it's not tested on animals, which is what we typically think of as cruelty-free, or what the demarcation is for what consists of a cruelty-free product. That said, benefits of beef tallow on skin. Number one benefit is deep hydration. Beef tallow contains fatty acids that are very similar to the fatty acids that our own skin needs in order to be healthy, hydrated, and to beef up, no pun intended, really no pun intended, the skin's outer barrier, the protective barrier. Now, beef tallow on its own, being heavy on the fat and lipid side, is occlusive and it can block pores. Doesn't happen in every individual. In fact, in studies and in consumer use, it's quite helpful for dry skin conditions like psoriasis, eczema, and even has been helpful in cases of rosacea because of that deep hydration. And if you are suffering from super dry skin, it can also be helpful in those issues. It also contains linoleic acid, which is very anti-inflammatory, again, very helpful for rosacea and psoriasis or skin irritations. Definitely will help reduce inflammation and redness. It also contains oleic acid. It's packed with vitamin A, K, E, and D. And when taken together, those vitamins and fatty acids, very helpful in the synthesis of collagen or collagen production and supporting elastin fibers in the skin. It's able to help improve skin texture and even the look of acne and keloid type of scars. So that's the list of benefits and why it can be beneficial for skin. But let's talk about some of the science behind it, because there are some issues with tallows not going to work for everyone, much like coconut oil or other occlusive materials used on the skin, depending on your skin's nature and your body's chemistry can determine on how well this particular ingredient is going to work for you. As I said just a minute ago, it is comedogenic. It can block pores and create breakouts. So if you're going to use a product like this, you need to always test it out on an inconspicuous area. I always talk about the inner elbow, especially to make sure there are no allergic reactions. But even with that said, because it's occlusive, just because it didn't cause a breakout or bumps on your inner elbow does not mean it won't do that in your face. And for guys, this is being touted as a super moisturizer. My only problem with it is if you have facial hair like I do right now, if you get this built up in the hairline or your beard, it can lead to ingrown hairs and breakouts. So there are some negatives when it comes to occlusive material, especially when it comes to beards. And the other issue that I have with it as an ingredient is not FDA cleared for this use. There's still a lot of scientific study being done on its efficacy for skin. And when something's not regulated or tested on a regular basis, quality and composition of these products can vary greatly. So now I've tested out myself a lot of these type of products. I've done serums, I've done creams, and I've got a couple that I will talk about today in the video that actually are well formulated, worked well for me on my skin, didn't cause any reactions or breakouts. And the other good news about beef tallow products as of right now is they're fairly inexpensive. And the two products I'm talking about in today's video, I tested out myself, bought myself, so they're not sponsoring anything. This is just a full out review, my opinion as a skincare professional about whether this is beneficial for skin or not. And the marketing push has really been toward men for this. This type of product is not going to work well under cosmetics. Again, it's occlusive, and anytime you have something oily on your skin and you go to apply makeup or any sort of cosmetics, it doesn't always work out so well. Really hard to get a foundation and cosmetics to set on skin that is greasy or oily. Now, these particular formulations I'm talking about today do absorb very well. They don't leave a shine or a greasy feel on the skin, but they are occlusive. This first one is East Moon Regal Defense Tallow Balm, and it's a very simple formulation. It's formulated with water, tallow, collagen, and niacinamide. So niacinamide is going to actually boost this product's ability to be absorbed in the skin, and especially with inflammation and redness. It's a very soothing cream style balm. I'll show you what it looks like right here. A little bit on my finger. It's really more like a lotion. And then you're just going to put that on in the areas that you want to treat. If you're going to use this type of product, you want to use it as your last step moisturizer. Again, occlusive, going to block anything else. All those other treatments or products in your skincare routine need to go on first. So the East Moon product, very straightforward, very light, not greasy. So you can see my skin is not shiny. Absorbs well, very, very inexpensive, coming in around like 16 to 20 bucks. This next formulation and product is one you've probably seen ads for. It's called Forge Skincare, marketed primarily for guys again. It does contain squalane, glucoside, and shea butter, which makes this a much more rich type of balm for the skin. It does also contain botanical oils that are good for the skin, but it does have the word fragrance in the ingredient listing, which means there is fragrance added to this. So if you are a person who has had fragrance sensitivities in the past with other products, you might want to pass on this one. Check out that East Moon version. It does not contain fragrance. And at the least, be sure and test it on the inner elbow to make sure you don't have any allergic reaction to it. It also does contain food and product dye coloring yellow. That's why it's this kind of color. I don't really have so much a problem with that. Again, anything you're going to do on your face, you would want to test this out on your inner elbow. And I've said that like 3 times, but it takes just very little of it. And I'm going to go ahead and apply this one, even though I've applied the other product already. Okay. And you can smell the fragrance. It's very citrus-like, very lemon orange-like, which is pleasant. I don't usually have too much trouble with fragrance, so I'm not too worried about it. And I've already tested it out on myself. As you can see, again, even though I have the other product on first, totally absorbed into my skin, not greasy, but my skin does look very hydrated, feels very hydrated. And the moisturizing effect of this type of product did last me all day. Now, I like to use it at night as my last step, sort of like a slugging step. Again, it's occlusive, so it's going to block out everything else. So it goes on last. The Forge version of this, $25. These are not expensive products, and there is some legitimate benefit that you can get from them for your skin. And again, the 3 largest things that are negative is it's not FDA cleared, at least not yet. There's still a lot of science to be done on this product and its efficacy, although it reviews very well. It worked well for me. It works well for a lot of people. The other being it's comedogenic, which means it can block pores in some folks. And then there's that lack of consistent formulation. So the only 2 that I'm going to recommend are going to be these 2. The links will be down below in the video description box. It's not a lot of money. If you're looking to improve your skin, I know a lot of guys like simple things to put on their skin. This is going to be a very simple product to use. And the Forge version, super hydrating and super skin beneficial with those extra ingredients that they added in their particular formula. Now, I hope you guys found this review on beef tallow as a skincare ingredient helpful. If you did, please like it, share it out, let me know in the comments below. And for even more ways to roll back that clock on skin and body aging, check out this video that I picked out for you next. As always, thank you guys for requesting these type of reviews. I love doing them for you. Thanks for watching and supporting my work. Stay beautiful, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you over on that next video.